Hi, friends. Good morning. Mm, I hope you're all well, and I hope life is treating you well. Actually, life always treats us well. We say life is that life is cruel, but life is not cruel. Situations maybe, people maybe, but life is not. I mean, you may agree and disagree on that. That's your choice completely. But most importantly, I hope you are treating yourself well. Um, Today, I wanted to talk about or make raise awareness about protecting our relationships that really matter, you know, from manipulators, because it can um, and you would think, how is it related with mental health? It's like it causes so much trauma in the family, and it can it can hurt the person being manipulated so much. I will give you the example. You will like I said, I give from my own life examples. I have been in a way in a kind of a seclude, I mean, secluded state for the past 3 4 years. And anyways, I in 2012 I fell into this nervous breakdown. So anyways, there was not much social interaction, so I started becoming very contemplative, and I started observing things quite quietly. I mean, in a way, I was not going out, I was sick. And so it's not like that. I had always been observant. Even as a kid, I was very sensitive, but I never acknowledged that part of me. So that's also I want to talk about in other videos. So first, I think I will cover a few topics that mostly contribute to people being traumatized or towards mental illnesses. If it is genetic, you know, that's a different thing. But that also can be controlled to such an extent that it may never get triggered up. Also, something is genetic doesn't mean it has to happen. But I'll cover that later. So I wanted to make this video on mostly uh, how we sometimes, or how people, they ruin something so beautiful, sometimes out of malice, out of jealousy, greed, sometimes out of ignorance, and sometimes just because they refuse to own their behavior, just because they refuse to take any accountability. So yeah, I'm giving this example from my own life because this is the one of the closest things to my heart. I mean, I'm talking about my father. um he is the kind of person who doesn't show emotions. That's how he has been raised. So for a long time when I was a kid also, and he is a terrific father. He would for himself, he would not, he would not provide that much for himself, but he would provide for you, and he would take up so much responsibility without even uh, letting it show on his face. Sometimes he would burst up under the pressure, but he never buckled under the pressure. So, so I never saw him smiling, and I always found him very strict, very supportive also, and very strict since I was a kid, and I was a very sensitive kid. So I would be like, if there, I was very scared of him, because like when we were kids, we were mostly you know accepted for our grades, how we are doing in studies. And my father is uh, very big on like studies, that education is a must, which is a must. So I will just give you a small background, because um, the society that or the strata of the society that we come from, it is one of the most oppressed strata. And now I have started, like when I have been in this space, I have started contemplating things. So I don't identify with one religion or one society or anything like that. I identify with the humanity in general. But I do honor my lineage. I do honor my ancestors, because they went through so much oppression in the name of caste and society and everything. And I honor them because they didn't give up, and that's why I am here. That's why we are here. So my father had tough childhood, so he grew up a stoic kind of someone who doesn't show their emotions. As a kid, I never saw him laugh. Also, it was all about duty for him. It was all about he would just, um, this is my duty and I have to do it. So, um, but like 13 years ago, when I got a nervous breakdown, somehow it gave me some kind of a courage. I don't know, because every day it was so bad. I would feel like uh, I'm going to bed and I might not wake up tomorrow. So I would rather just tell my father what I feel. So we started building a kind of a repo, and I told him that, I appreciate you so much, and you have always had my back. But because you have been so strict and I've never seen you laugh, I've always been scared of you. Why can't we be like friends? And I was like so scared. I was like, I may die any day, you know. And I was scared what would my parents would do after I am gone. So I even asked my father, how would you feel? I feel like I'm going to die any day. So my father is like I said, he's stoic. He didn't show his emotions. I said, what? How will you know how we are doing once you are gone? So what is the point of this question? Yeah, I was like, he has logic, yes. Yeah, so my father, he would agree with the logic, but he would always dismiss emotions. Um, and he wouldn't do it out of kind of any, malice or anything. But that's how it was a way of protecting himself, I guess. But then we started building a repo, and in a way, somehow, I'm not taking credit here. I'm just saying somehow I started kind of getting him in touch with his emotions. That it's okay. You can laugh. Smile looks good on you. And even if I caught him smiling even a little, I would compliment him that it looks so good on you. You should smile often. And slowly we started building such a rapport that my father started opening up. Not that it became the kind of a relationship where, hey, and no, we still, it was like very much, in a way, I mean, being with like really teenage friends with your parents is also amazing, and with your children, it's amazing. But we have to see how much somebody can change, right? We can't just push too much. I was happy with the I was happy with I was happy when I saw my father smiling, and when I started seeing that he would take care of himself also. Like he always took care of himself in a way, stoically. Like he would never spend on him much or um, like that. But I would tell him, if I want something, you would get it for me. Why don't you get it for yourself? So that direct question was not working on him. Then he would feel vulnerable. So I would like, when he looked really nice in something, I would tell him, this looks really nice on you. And I find my father handsome. Every daughter finds their father handsome. And I was like, you look so handsome in this. You look really nice. Slowly it started changing something. My father started taking more care of his appearance in a way that he would he started taking care of, like, if he had to buy a shirt or something that is costly, first he would not do that, but then he started doing that. Yeah, this looks good on me. So it's like he needed permission from somewhere. That's how he grew up. So, and he would ask me, how is this looking on me? And I'm like, and I'll be always honest, kindly honest. I'll be like, nah, this doesn't suit you. This color doesn't suit you, but you don't have to take my word for it. You can check in the mirror. If you like it, you should wear it. But he always took my word for it. And when he dresses up really nicely, he looks so elegant. And then I'm coming to the point here. This all has a point. Like, I had to break that shell. I had to get him in touch with his own, a part of him that he had denied for so long, that he also deserves good things. He's not just a provider, he's a person too. He deserves happiness. He deserves to be, he deserves good things too. So, um, we always, so the relationship evolved, and I have always had a good relationship with my mother. But as my mother was not very strict, I sometimes would be like a brat, not a bad kind of a brat, but I would end up being very upset or fighting with her, something like that, which I'm not proud of now, which was very, very wrong of me. I so uh, Coming to the point, so it was like so beautiful to see my father smiling, and he even started making jokes. And I once he even said thank you for something to me. It's not that he doesn't show it. If he appreciates something, he doesn't show it. And it kind of brought me to tears. I didn't cry in front of him, and I was like, thank you, God. He's opening up. He's opening up to all of him, because he has always lived like he has this duty, and that's how he always has to show up, and he has denied a part of him completely. So, and nobody could dare to tell him that. And I could dare only because I thought, okay, if my father got angry right now, there are chances I may not wake up tomorrow. So what's the harm? But this happened. But then, and right now, I'm giving this only for reference. I'm not bad mouthing anybody. It's not to malign anybody's or tarnish anybody's image. When my brother got married, I guess it's my karma or something like that. I don't know. I ended up with a husband, and I ended up with a sister-in-law. Like, mm, I mean, I wouldn't wish that kind of a thing on anybody. So I got a sister-in-law who couldn't just see me happy, who couldn't see me existing. And I, w- I was like a very meek person. I always say very meek. Like, I just recently I realized I am powerful like you are. Like, everybody is powerful. You have that power inside of you. You have that courage inside of you to not take any kind of wrong behavior or insulting behavior from anybody, to not let anybody shame you. But as I have, there is this amazing author, Marianne Williamson. She writes, people are more scared of their power than of their weakness. When I read that phrase, it stirred something in me. I read it like around somewhere around 15, 20 years ago. But still, it stayed with me. And only now, few months back, I started realizing what it actually means. Yeah, because why people are scared of their power is when you are in your power, as in when you are in your essence, when you are authentic, you start losing people like anything. People who are used to a version of you being meek, being oppressed, being obedient all the time. I'm not saying go be a revolutionary, but if it's something wrong and still you are being obedient, you never dare to say no, you will take any kind of oppression. When you start showing up as you, and when you start showing up strong, you become terribly lonely for a time being, These people start leaving your life because they can't handle it. So you get to realize then it is never you that they loved. They loved the version of you that they created, you know? And once you choose yourself, and I had seen this as a kid also in my school when I was a when I was yeah when I was in school kid. It's a one and a same thing. So when I would agree with my friends, like I was well liked in my class, but there are always few people, So when I would agree with everything they were saying, I had a lot of friends. And once I said something different, because I always thought different from others. I didn't believe in pulling people down or tearing people down or things like that. And I'm telling you why I'm sharing this. So I once disagreed, and the friends that I thought were my closest friends, they started pulling off away from me. So that sent me a message. It is not safe to be authentic. You lose friends, you lose people. And so many situations in my life kept giving me that same message. So I started completely denying being myself. I would just be what everybody else wanted me to be. But by God's grace, that essence was somewhere inside me. I've made a video on that topic, the inner child. And I have made a lot of videos actually, but I have made them few months back, and I was at a very, very, very low state, emotional state. But still, I was thinking I should share this so that it can help somebody. But when I watched those videos, I think I should. Earlier, I wanted to be. I should post it. Somebody will get. Somebody will get the help they need. But now that I have calmed down, I have got more control over my emotions. I am rethinking. So some of them I will post. Some of them I will re-record. But yeah, I was saying I got the kind of sister-in-law who could not tolerate me being happy. Or and by that time I was not even being authentic. I was still being a people pleaser. I'm the elder one, and still I would be like I would do everything in my power to make her comfortable and all. But when she saw my relationship, she was at at earlier stages she was not very good with my mother. But when she would attack my mother in a way verbally, My brother and my father stood up, and I would stand up like if somebody attacked my parents. So she, like, I say, God has given you brains, you know. So why do you use to manipulate it to? Why do you use your brain to manipulate others? Why don't you use it to help and heal somebody? You know, or if you don't want to do that, just keep to yourself. Do not spread evil. And I'm not saying every daughter-in-law is like that. I was a daughter-in-law at one point of a time. So, and a lot of daughter-in-laws get oppressed. A lot of daughter-in-laws. But in my house, it's not like that. A daughter and a daughter-in-law, there is no separation. But I don't know what she she just couldn't stand when my father cared for me so much, and he would care for her also. But then there were things going on behind my back. I mean, she would attack me like nobody had dared to speak to me like that ever. Like she would speak to me, and my mother would get furious. How can you talk to her like that? And I was already I was in this years I was in the middle of a divorce, and then I was divorced. I was already battling a lot of issues and trying to keep a brave face, and I would always keep a smile on my face. But I realized the moment she sees a smile on my face, she starts bringing hell down. I would still try to hum and sing so that like my parents are comfortable. They are not feeling, they won't feel like my daughter is suffering or something like that. It's not that I didn't go through a process of cleansing all those emotions that I had been carrying around the divorce, all those pain of betrayal. I did, but I would do it alone in my own room. But when I would come out of my room, I would always have a song on my lips, or I would be humming something, or I would be making jokes because I love to see my mother laugh. I love to see my father laugh. I even love to see them laugh. These people, my brother and his other half. I wish I could say better half, but so, but people, I don't know. I believe that people can change. God can change her, maybe. No, God can definitely change her if she is willing. So, but I have cut myself off from them completely because I took like years of operation from them, especially when I was at such low stage in my life. It's like kicking somebody down because when you kicking somebody when they are down because they are they're weak, like weaker at that point of time. But I don't know, I had always had this resilience. I would be dying inside, but I would always get back up. So because yeah, I told about my lineage. So I guess it's because of that also, that when I see oppression or something like that, somebody being oppressed, because that strata of society was oppressed so much that I don't know, somewhere I carry it in my blood. That if I get a lot of if I see I tolerate a lot, but if I see somebody getting oppressed a lot, something comes up on me. It's like I become, I'm not myself, and I would just kind of call the person out in a way. I would just say that what you're doing is wrong. Stop it. But I could never do this for myself. For everybody else, I was like a fierce protector. For myself, I was not even a meek protector. I was not a protector at all. I never protected myself until I started few months ago. That's why I'm like, when this beautiful author, she says people are more scared of their power than they are more scared of their weaknesses. So I'm like, I know what I'm capable of. I'm not saying violence, but I know what I'm capable of actually. I have started not denying who I am and what I can do. I have started not shrinking. I own my intellectuality. I own my essence. I own who I am. It doesn't mean I go on demeaning people or insulting people, because it means, if I do that, it means I have learned nothing from my life. I have learned nothing from the pain. So that's how it is like. So she would do everything in her power to kind of, break my morale. And earlier, and what she would do is she would attack me verbally. There was a time when there was a physical assault also. That was the time I was like, I'm completely cutting it off now, not taking it. So there had been people, my own, the guy I was married to, these were also, I don't know why they were always trying to sabotage my relationship with my father and behind my back. Because for a period of time, and please bear with me, I will tell you why I am telling you all this, because it is not easy for me to share all these things, but this contribute to even life and death situations. So while I was married, sometimes I would see a change in my father's behavior towards me. He would question, why do you behave like with your husband like that? Why do you become so stubborn and like that? And I was like, I've never done that. Where are you getting this from? But he was not the kind who would tell me. But he should have told me, I guess. My husband was brainwashing him against me, not my husband, the guy I was married to. So, so my sister-in-law, she also started. She saw when she was openly verbally attacking me. Then I don't know why my father would still not. He had been a very protective person, but then I guess he was getting torn between, like, he didn't want to treat his daughter-in-law. He didn't want to make her think like she is not equal or anything like that. But I never encourage, encouraging bad behavior or wrong behavior or oppressive behavior, even if it's your daughter or daughter-in-law, son-in-law, anybody. I'm not saying go oppress your daughter-in-laws. Never. That is the worst thing you can do to some, like, oppressing somebody is the worst thing you can do. One of the worst things. There are so many things. So, but I was like, why wouldn't my father say anything? Because, like I said, I had learned to protect. I was like, always, I felt like I'm the protector of my family. I don't know, it was maybe my ancestors coming through me, or I don't know. Just making a joke here. So, but when it came to me, I didn't know how to defend myself. I had, I never thought of defending myself. When the physical assault happened, I was just sitting there getting the beating. It's so humiliating. And it was life's way of telling me, is this how you want to live? Humiliated all your life? Are you never going to look inside yourself what you are capable of? Are you always going to let people treat you like this and ruin what you have created? Because every time I was about to be better, she would do something that would sabotage it. And like I have shared, my medication had to be increased, and I was in such depressive state that I I'm sorry. I don't want to say, I thought God's house is the only place where I could go. And I was like, why is my father not saying anything? Later on, I realized that she had been brainwashing my father behind my back. And how will you protect yourself from something you don't know? And why I didn't know was because I didn't choose to say it. Like I always say, I had been a very observant person, very sensitive person ever since I was a kid. I had been denying all my gifts. Even in my marriage also, I would be like, there will be subtle signs, but uh, I would just completely not even deny. I would not recognize their existence also. Like it's a thin air, and I would walk right through it. I would not look at it. So I think life had to put me through this situation so that I do wake up to my power. I do learn to own who I am. Because had I taken more of it, had I taken more of the operation, I would not have survived. And I'm telling it as it is. Because a lot of us might be going through this kind of things. You may not know what you are capable of. I'm not telling you all to just take a sword and start fighting. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm asking you to, oh, speak up. There is nothing wrong in speaking up against evil. What's wrong is oppressing innocent people. And when you are in a situation where you can't protect somebody like that, I totally understand. I don't know what in what condition somebody is in. They might be in danger if they try to save somebody. But if you are in a position where you can protect someone and choose to help. Again, assess the situation first. Just don't jump into the fire. I have become like the person, like if I see somebody getting oppressed, I jump into the fire. That I have to get under control now. So what happened is like the main this thing I- then I this started creating a rift in my mind. Why does my father not protect me? Why does my father not protect me? He has always been so fiercely protected about me. When it came to the guy I was married, he was not protective. He never trusted me. When it comes to this person, he never stands up for me. He even doesn't even tell her to not treat me like that. Um, so, but then, I would just be insistent, please intervene. You are the head of the house. If you don't, I'm not asking you to just do anything or go um, punish her or anything. Just tell her not to treat me like this. That's all I'm asking. And that would also require so much convincing. There was a time there were so many times I even folded my hands like this and I was like, I'm begging you, protect me. I would not survive this. I was being oppressed so much. So my father, he kind of very hesitantly intervened. But then people who are very manipulative, they catch on those things. She got to know that uh, she's alone. And anyway, she did not think of anything of my mother. Then, but she realized that if she openly does that, there were other members, extended family. If I told them, then she will get a backlash. So she started doing it covertly, and that put me in more danger. With just a look of her eyes, she can make you feel like I will kill you and bury you right where you're standing. That kind of hostility. And I had no idea why. It's because she thought always um, saw me as a competition. She was, and I got to know it's like jealousy. And I was like, I would think, I would in my room and I would like, God, what is she jealous of? Look at her life and look at my life. She has got, uh, um, in laws who are angelic. She has got a husband who is so totally devoted to her. She has got a wonderful kid. And look at me. I've been gone through a divorce. My name has been completely tarnished. I'm going through severe depression. I'm going through so many health concerns. Sometimes it becomes so difficult for me that I can't even go out, even out of my room. What is there to be jealous about? Why does she do that? And that was my condition. And with time, the more I tolerated, the more it became severe. She started doing it often and more often. And then I thought, is it only in my mind, or is it really something like that? I should check it. So most of the times when my mom would go to my grandmother's house, she had passed away month and a half ago. I talk about her often very fondly. She was nice, she was fierce. Had she been not sick, she would not let it happen. But my mother, she is like an angel, very sweet. She doesn't know how to handle conflict. So my mother would go to my grandmother's house. She needed care. My father would be out on some business. My brother would be out for something. And she would give me so much hate. Like if I'm standing somewhere, she will just not stand there. She will just go to another room. And anyways, we talked very little. And I'm not the kind of person who goes and pokes their nose on into other people's business. So one day I thought I should check it. Like, is it in only in my mind? So she was in the kitchen. Because I had noticed when I would enter the kitchen, she would leave. But that day I thought I should not judge somebody like that. Still, so much was evident in front of me, but still. I went into to the kitchen. She took her mobile. She came out and sat in the hall. No, she came out and sat in my mother's room. So, with some pretense, I came to my mother's house like I was looking for something. The moment I entered the room, she left and she went and sat in the hall. That was more than enough for me to understand that what she's doing. She's trying to make me feel inferior, or like I had already faced that behavior in my ex-in-law's house. So I knew how to recognize it, and slowly I was learning to not deny the signs that were so evident in front of me. So things started escalating so much, so much, so much that it became a matter of survival. And I'm coming to how it comes to protecting your loved ones, because when you can't protect yourself, how are you going to protect your loved ones? You know, and the damage that this kind of people can do. Again, I'm not venting about my sister-in-law. Had it been any person, I would have said this. Like I said, it's not easy, but I needed to bring it into awareness, people's awareness. It could be anybody, you know, not necessarily your sister-in-law. There are sister-in-laws, like the daughters, who are horrible to their um, wives, their brothers' wives. So it can be anybody. So this was my story. This was happening to me. So I was like, it became so cruel that, and it became very evident to me that she would stop at nothing until I was gone, either from this world or this house. And the worst part was, I had all the intentions of leaving. I had all the intentions of going out and making my own life. But and I was continuously working towards that. But the moment I would reach a certain healing point, she would bring out hell. So she couldn't see me getting healed also, and she wouldn't want me here also. And I was suffering in silence. I was not telling anybody. So it was being even more detrimental to my mental health. So I started telling my parents, but like I said, she was doing it covertly, and by the time she had completely brainwashed my brother. My brother was like so hostile towards me. He would not even let me speak. If he saw that I'm sitting with my father, he would come and stand there, like what she is talking about. Even if it's like something like if I'm making a joke, or if I will be like, if I was very weak and I couldn't go out, I would be like, Papa, I need this medicines. This is the list. Can you get it? So of course he would always do that, but still my brother would feel threatened, and I knew where the brainwashing was coming from. And he would come and stand there like I am planning and plotting something like that. And I'm not the kind of person who plans and plots. Like I said, I jump into the fire. I'll rather just, you know, whatever I have, first I would try to tolerate it, or try to kind of bring it to a place where it is peaceful. And if it is not possible, I would directly tell it on your face first, kindly. If not, then I would raise my voice. But I cannot go about, you know, planning and plotting behind people's back, because I believe in God firmly and God sees everything. And and here again, I'm not promoting God, or I'm not asking you to change your beliefs or anything. But for me, it's like God reparented me. But this video is not about that, and it is getting longer. I'm making the second part. But I would really, really like you guys to please have some patience and watch, so that you can save somebody you love so much, and who you have kind of got in touch with their inner child, their happiness. You will see how it gets ruined. You know, as kids, we love our parents like our parents love us. So I'm making another video, but because this video, my phone, there's no space in my phone. Yeah.